Hello, it's Jenny from Ginger Ninja Crafts, and I am here with my Embellish With Us Wednesday video for this week. So this is an open collab that anybody can join in with, and it's hosted by a lovely Rana at Lilo Crafts. I'll link her in the description box below. And the idea is that anybody can make and share embellishments on a Wednesday. Kind of does what it says on the tin. So a couple of weeks ago now, maybe longer, shared some embellishments I've been making on Instagram, and I asked for any suggestions for themes. So somebody suggested music, and I did those a couple of weeks ago, and then somebody else said steampunk, which is not my kind of usual style of crafting at all. Excuse me, but I decided to give it a bash. So I thought I'll show you what I have used and some of the techniques I've used, and show you some of the embellishments. So I used this embossing folder, which is a Tim Holtz Sizzix one. I've had it for years. It's like sort of steel plating or something. Hopefully you can see that. And what I did was I die cut. Well, originally what I did was I embossed a panel of it, and then I die cut from it. When I die cut the already embossed card, I feel like it flattened it out a wee bit. So then the next step I did was I die cut my shapes first, and then popped them in. So you can do a whole load at once, like so. Pop them in, and then run that through and embossed it, and it gave it a little bit of a crisper embossing finish. So I used some dies as well. I had these cog dies. I had them for years and years. I think they were a set, like a Santoro or something set. And as I say, I've had them for years and rarely used them. So I used those, and I used some, oh, where are they? This set of stamps from Tim Holtz. I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, I can't remember what they're called, but I'll show you on a bit of. They've got these great faces with their hats and some sentiments and this kind of bullseye bit, and they're a really handy set. I'll find the packet and put the name of them in the description for this video. So the first ones that I did were some little bowler hats. So I die cut a wee bowler hat in some nice, really black, thick cardstock, and I die cut myself a little ticket, and I just inked round the edges with a bit of vintage photo, and then I die cut a little kind of grungy looking band for the hat, and a little what do you call it? Cog? Is that what it's called? Yeah, let's call it that. So I just put this together. I don't know about you, but for me, the longest time I spend when I'm doing crafting like this is rummaging through my stash to find things that I could use, and then trying to decide what I could put together and how it could look. And then actually, this takes no time to put it together. Even the die cutting, it's not that much. So I've got my little cog there. I'm going to pop a little splodge of glue, and I'm going to stick a little, this is like a wee offcut from the music dies. In fact, it's the centre of like the little wheel sort of cog bit for the tape, you know, that you used to put the pencil in and turn it. And then I'm just going to add a little Nuvo drop to the centre there, as if it's like a wee screw or something. And then I'm going to pop one of those there, and then a little silvery one there. So that is all I did for those. So I'll pop that there. Then I took that stamp set and I cut out a circle. I was lucky, I had a circle die that kind of corresponded with this bullseye one. Now I've got some of these inks, which I think I bought them cheap and I've hardly used them, and I now see why, because I've never had to wipe an ink or a stamp like that. But here we go. So I'm going to pop that on there, and then what I've already done is I've stamped the wee bowler hatted man onto some pale grey card. Oh, see, that's not very good, but that's okay because I'm going to layer it up. So this wee manny here, I've done it as a sort of a, I don't know, warm pale grey, and then to give him a wee bit of sort of definition, I'm going to use my Tri-Blend Spectrum Noir in brown grey blend. So I'm going to use a little bit of the medium one, which is BG6, and the palest, which is BG2, and just sort of add some little bits of shadow, really. Because I think that can stop it looking quite so flat. So if you have any other ideas for themes, then please let me know. I might not have the materials for it, but if I do, I don't really want to, I'm just about to tell a lie. I was going to say I don't really want to go shopping for things, but I mean, I would blooming love to, but I don't think I should, you know, cost of living crisis and all. So yeah, I'm going to just give him some of this and then a wee bit of shadow around his little bow tie. And then I'm going to fussy cut him out. So I'm going to try and do this one kind of quickly. So I think that's just like his monocle has got a kind of handle, would it be? I mean, I guess I could have coloured him up with skin tones, but I figured the sort of the warm greys made it look a bit more sort of old and maybe a bit more grungy. He's got such a good expression on his face. Now, I do love fussy cutting. It's probably not the most exciting to watch, so I'm sorry about that, but although I quite like watching other people fussy cut things. I find it sort of soothing, but right. Get rid of that. So I've got my little Manny, and I've got my slightly bodged bullseye, and I've got one of those little hearts which I have embossed with that thingamies, and I want to add a little sentiment, so I've got my Wow embossing pad, and where have I put it? I've got this. I'm going to show you this on another bit of a project as well. It is Wow embossing powder inspired by Manny and Emberson. It's called Parissa, and I just bought it directly from Wow. I've had it for ages, so I don't know if they still sell it, but it's got a sort of mixture of colours in it, sort of different metallics. So let me move up a bit. So I've got some black card here, and I'm just going to put my anti-static bag on. I'm going to snap that, pop it on the bottom. Now when I tip this on, you probably, and you see it's kind of a thicker sort of texture than some embossing powder. It's kind of grainier, if that makes sense. Now I'm going to put you on pause because nobody wants to be deafened by the heat tool. Okay, so I've done what's up, and let's just cut that. So can you see it's got a kind of, it's got a bit of copper, a bit of silvery, and a bit of sort of goldy colour. So I thought that kind of looked a wee bit grungy. Now, so let's see if I can put that on there, stick down this chappy here. I feel like he should be called something like Humphrey or Henry or something like that. So I'll hold that on, and then again I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of black Nouveau drops, like so. So there is my second little embellishment. Oh, it's okay, I think. Right, now the third option I've got is a bigger heart. So this heart with the sort of stitching around the outside, I have embossed, well actually this is one of the ones that was already embossed, so see it's a bit of a, it's kind of flattened it out a wee bit, but that's okay. And I'm going to take some of my cogs. So 3 different ones. So I'm going to use one black one, and I'm going to glue that on up here. And then I used by the same embossing powder, this Parissa again, and I embossed the cogs, the die cuts. So what I did, I'm not going to make you listen to the heat tool, but what I did was I basically just took my slightly scruffy embossing pad and dunked it in and pressed it all in, and then I took my trusty tweezers, is that what you call them? And I held it and I sprinkled on the embossing powder and heat embossed it. And then because of where the tweezers are, you get a little dent. I did it a few times, which also just builds up the layers. So you get this kind of effect, which I thought was really quite cool. So it's got the sort of coppery colour and the gold and silver are kind of mottled together. So that was one. This one I think has got about 3 layers, so it's kind of, it's built up the built it up to almost feel like it's kind of metallic. And here's another couple of ones that I did. I think this one's turned out really nicely with the sort of mottling in that middle bit. So yeah, so I'm going to pop one of these big ones on and one little one like so. And then I've got a tiny little bit left, which I don't quite know what I would finish it off with, but so if you've got any ideas you can let me know. Okay, so stick that on. And then this one. And I don't know, they feel like they need a little bit of a holding in place to really stick, but that's that. Now what I'm going to do is, again, I mean, I am addicted to Nuvo drops. So there we go. So there is my other finished one. Now the other thing that I've done, but I don't quite know what to do with them, is I've done some of these little fingers. This is in a Tim Holtz set. I've used the same grey cardstock for the back as I did for what did I decide? Humphrey. And then I've just a little bit of wet glue, lined that up, and then the same as I did on the face, just go in with a wee bit of this pen, just oh, that's the darkest one. Okay, so like that. And then I just went in at the end with a wee bit of white gel pen. Like so. And I think I'm going to do a little white gel pen on this hat too. It's amazing the difference a bit of gel pen, white pen, can make. So yes, I don't know, maybe I'll just use these on a wee topper. Not sure. But anyway, that is my steampunk embellishments for Embellish With Us Wednesday. So I hope that you like them, and that you enjoyed seeing a bit more of me putting some together. And I will be back very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye now.